What up, what up, what up, New York Giant Nation of football fans and sports fans all over the world. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan, here with my guys, Adam Costas, Zion Zenith, and definitely the one and only NYG Jeffy T is right here with us in memory, in spirit, as always. This is the Premium Takes Podcast. Let's go! What is going on? Good afternoon, everybody. Special time date for the Premium Takes Podcast. Saturday, coming at you on a Saturday afternoon. Things got a little hectic for us yesterday, so we're just bringing it to y'all today, man. And thank you all for joining us. How y'all feeling today, fellas?
Stuffed.
Absolutely. Hopefully you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving and
Same.
enjoyed it with you guys' families. And then you guys watching as well. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully everybody had a happy holidays. And if you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving, hopefully you guys had a good couple of days. Well, let's get it.
Well, what's going on? We was right before we came live. We were kind of in the midst of a conversation. Adam brought up a good point. We should just carry this conversation on the air, man. Survivor Series going down tonight. WWE, one of their major pay-per-views of the year, and we were just talking about how there's only one title match on the entire card tonight. Just one and only one. And that's Rhea Ripley defending her women's title against Zoe Starks, I believe. And it's just, to me, it's kind of shameful and disgraceful that you have one of your most major events of the year and you only got one damn title up for grabs on one of your major pay-per-views, because all the other champions in the company are pretty much tied up in other matches that aren't title matches. I mean, I think this is a cop-out. I think Roman Reigns is once again MIA for a pay-per-view, a major pay-per-view event.
That's why he's not a good champion to me.
MIA once again. And this is not, to me, it's not acceptable. Another thing about the Survivor Series pay-per-view that bothers me and has been for quite some time is you've gone away from the original format, which I understand.
Yes.
Back in the day, it was a bit much. You having all those Survivor Series style matches, okay, and the whole card was made up of all of those. And I get that. Maybe you go away from that so much, but you got to still incorporate at least maybe one of those kind of matches, just because the tradition of the event. That's what the event was all about. To not even have.
What up, no
Well,
match?
no, that's not what War Games is. War Games is a completely different match.
Well, there's five guys,
old
which
school
is
traditional
technically the Survivor
matches.
Series team, right?
But it's not an elimination. It's not like elimination. It's not.
Right.
It's just. It's a different match completely. It's not even remotely the same kind of match. And I just, it's just, to me, it's WWE is just, they're kind of just going through the motions, because they don't have to try as hard as maybe some of the other companies. They don't have to work as hard because they are obviously fully established. But I don't know. How do you feel about Adam, in particular, about this card? Like I said, one title match on the whole damn card. How do you feel about it?
When you put it that way, I'm actually less excited about it now, because I was watching the old Survivor Series clips on Instagram and seeing like the beefcakes or whatever, or the Hulkamaniacs or whatever it was that would face. I mean, I saw one preview. It was Ultimate Warrior, Legion of Doom, and another guy, I think, Texas Tornado, and they were the team, right? And it was kind of interesting to see.
I remember
that. And so my point is that you want to see that type of match, but then when you bring up War Games, you're making it violent and cool. So it's like, oh yeah, it's living up to the hype in terms of what the match is. But you're right, nobody is fighting on the card. I hate Roman Reigns as champion. I think he's the worst champion ever, because he's such a big dude that always needs help. They go back and watch his matches against Cena, against this, Solo Sikoa. Like, at what point? I mean, even in the NWO, they weren't like this, right? And the NWO cheated and did what they needed to do. It's when Hulk Hogan said, stay at the friggin' back. They stayed in the back. You know what I mean? They came out after, but they never like it was like Roman Reigns always has interference in it, and the fact that he's not on a major card, what does that tell me? What are you doing? What are you going to hide him? Because what is it? November is now Survivor Series. What is it? Elimination Chamber in December or some shit or like that or some.
There's nothing else, I think, to the Royal Rumble after this. I think this is the last one of the year.
Don't they do No Way Out? And then they do. Well, either way,
I'm not sure.
If that's the case, man, you better hope Royal Rumble lives up to the billing. What are you going to do? Have Cody Rhodes win? I mean, it's crazy. A lot of storylines could have been solved. I'm sad that Seth Rollins still has the title. As much as I love Seth Rollins, I think Shinsuke deserved it. I think Cody Rhodes deserves it. If you're going to bring back that title, don't do that with this title. You should be having a title match at a big pay-per-view because that's what these people pay for. That's what you're paying for. Or you don't watch a boxing match just put on a pay-per-view just for an exhibition, right? You want to see the big heavyweights go at it. That's what you're waiting there for, right? And as violent as this match is going to be with cages and all this bullshit around it, it still doesn't take away the fact that both the champions are kind of riding into the sunset. No one's really doing much. No storylines are really being told. The only one they're pushing up right now is Rey Mysterio versus Sango Escobar, or whatever his name is, which I always thought that guy was going to be good. I think it's a little too late for them. Then you have, the Intercontinental title. I don't even know what's happening with Gunther. Like, what are we doing here? He doesn't.
I do have a correction. I have a correction. Gunther is defending an Intercontinental title tonight as well. So there is 2 title matches on the card. But either way, that's still he's defending against the Miz. So nobody cares.
Really, yeah. So that's what I mean. It's like
match.
I feel like Triple H. I don't know if his influence is not being heard, but I just feel like this is not Triple H behind this. This is a Vince McMahon type of shit where you're keeping your guys, the faces that run the place, with the championship. Like Seth Rollins. Sorry, I love you, but Shinsuke Nakamura had a great promo. He had a ton of heat. You're telling me you couldn't take the title off that guy? You know what I mean? You got freaking Cody Rhodes and Jimmy Uso. You give them the tag titles only to have them taken away to do nothing. Like, what are we talking about here? Meanwhile, AEW, I got Edge. I got what's that other guy's name? Sting, and I have the other kid's name, Darby Allin, all coming out at a pay-per-view event with AEW. Iconic shit. What do I get with War Games? Nothing. I get a reincarnated match that they stole from WCW back in the day.
That's exactly what they did. They don't even do it as well.
They don't even do it right because it's WCW. It was full cages. You couldn't climb out. It was a war game in the fucking cages. You couldn't climb out. And now you have this one where it's open at the top. I don't need to see aerial moves. I need to see your face get smashed with a chair, a barbed wire, bleeding all over the place. That's what I call for. Nobody bleeds anymore.
Do you guys feel like it's almost obviously wrestling's been around for generations, you know what I'm saying? And in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that, and all these circuits around the United States and around the world. You look at England, you look at even overseas in Hawaii where wrestling had a big port as well. And you look at it, there's always been like a stepping stone, right? Whether it be live shows, whether it be arenas, or whether it be network television. All the way up until the 80s, then the 90s came around, and you had those big glory moments with big superstars. But even then, there's always been competition. There's always been competition, whether people want to come and support it, or whether certain televisions want to, pick up deals. And it's always been a fight. And I haven't been a fan that long as you guys, and I've been real casual lately. But what I always noticed is the WWE always had to go through obstacles, and they always overcame those obstacles, and they were the best road show. You can any entertainment value, whether it be a circus, whether it be a rodeo, whether it be a NASCAR, whether it be, they're the best entertainment traveling entertainment company in the world, right? And it comes to a point where they just got bought out by a big corporation, right? Then they get merged with the UFC, and they call this company TKO or whatever they call it, right? Do you guys feel that for the first time in a very long time, the WWE doesn't have to go and try to outdo themselves, because look at them. They did Saudi Arabia. That's the biggest you can do. What's next? Maybe Dubai, but Saudi Arabia is just as big. You know what I'm saying? They did the biggest arenas all over the world. They just sold to a net growth of a company in the billions. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at WWE, you're at a point where it's kind of like, damn, what is next? So the storylines, the write-ins, everything is kind of stale right now. It feels stale because they're trying to figure out it too. Because how do they attract a new audience, but still trying to take care of a hardcore audience? And don't you guys? Well, I'm asking you guys now. Do you guys feel that everything is just kind of content now? Because they don't have any goal that they're trying to competition other than AEW. That's not really a competition. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the grand scheme of it. Go ahead.
Competition is the bottom line. The bottom line is their competition. The problem right now with WWE and a lot of these other entities is they're on too many nights of the week. You got WWE on Monday, WWE on Tuesday, WWE on Friday, now you have a pay-per-view on Saturday. I'm just saying, when you have that, when we were growing up, me and Mac, we had like Sunday and a pay-per-view. We had Superstar Sunday, maybe Saturday Night Heat, something like that. It was not as open as it was. So you know why it was marquee? Because you didn't get to see those guys. The reason why it was so good is because a guy like me who watched, the Superstars on Sunday and got a glimpse of what was going on in the pay-per-view would then watch the 4 major pay-per-views and something enormous would happen. Randy Orton, they didn't even tease Randy Orton's comeback. They're just like, we got a friend, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He's coming back. It's the Viper. They didn't even build it up. They didn't even make you get a pop value. When Edge came back in 2020, and they were in January, and that pop went up for January, you had no idea who was in the building. They let Randy Orton in, and they're not even hiding it from you. And it's like, then what do I need to watch the pay-per-view for? If you're not going to even do that. And I think that one of the issues is it's oversaturation. There's too many wrestlers, too many different networks, too many different storylines. Well, I can't follow NXT and then jump to WWE Friday and Saturday and then watch AEW. There's so much going on, right? And now AEW, while they're dipping in product, they're bringing back older guys to kind of bring back their product. I would tell them the same thing. Stop doing Dynamite on Saturday, on Friday. Just do Wednesday night showing, because that means I have to show up on Wednesday. Otherwise, I'm missing it. When you're back on Wednesday,
they need it. Sorry to interrupt, but and I'll let you go, Mac. It sounds to me like they need to find a way to better market. Like I'm not trying to diss WWE, but better storylines and to market their product, because this is not the UFC versus WWE or anything. They're the same company at this point. But when you look at the UFC side, they got fight nights sometimes on Friday, a majority of the week. They got pay-per-views on Saturday at least once, sometimes twice a month. They got Dana White Fight Night on Tuesday nights, and they got the Ultimate Fighter on Wednesday nights. And then sometimes there can be an oversaturation of UFC events. Like, I can't follow all of them. It's too much. Mac knows, sometimes he only looks at the pay-per-views because every week there's so much. And if he's following the WWE, like you said, that's a lot of stuff to follow on top of football, on top of basketball and stuff. What the UFC does good is they market you to kind of like stream it along. So if you don't watch an event, you don't feel messed up. You don't feel missed out. The announcers do a good job of, without taking over the whole next event, is just letting you know real fast, boom, boom, boom. This is what's up next. And if you guys want to learn more, direct them to a YouTube channel where we can watch a mini documentary that's 20 minutes. With 500, 700 fighters on rosters, it's hard to, you only have to pick. For me, I pick certain ones that I really follow. With the WWE, I kind of just feel like, like you said, 3 hours here, 3 hours there, 2 hours here, and then a pay-per-view. It's like, damn, that's a lot for an individual to keep up with all these wrestlers. And then you get people getting cut, and then you get people coming over, and, Mac's wearing the shirt. And I just want to say, man, that's why, like, it makes me think about Jeff on how he was so great with his community and keeping up with everybody that's coming in and out. And, man, he's right here on screen with us. You know what I'm saying? We keep him in the thumbnails, and he's always great. So thank you for wearing that shirt today, Mac. And we're definitely keeping this one going with your conversation going with you in mind, Jeff, because he always came with who's getting cut. And it's just so hard. And it's just so hard to keep up with everything. So go right ahead, guys. What's up, Raphael?
But no, look, here's the issue with this, with the whole Survivor Series thing. That, like Adam said, they didn't even build the Randy Orton return up properly. They just at the end of the show, Cody Rhodes, he has saying a fifth member is going to be basically essentially. He didn't actually say Randy Orton, but he gave you enough hints that you knew he was talking about Randy Orton, obviously. And the thing is, if you're not going to have Randy Orton on WWE TV prior to the event in any way, shape, or form, because I thought he was going to at least be on SmackDown last night, maybe. No, you don't do that. Then why even bring it up? Then say, we got to get a fifth guy. You'll see who it is at the event on Saturday night. Let it be a total surprise to the Chicago audience on Saturday night at the arena when that music hits, when they're waiting for their fifth guy to come out and the music hits and it's fucking Randy Orton's music, then that place would have went absolutely bananas. It's still going to, because it's been a long time since Randy Orton's been around on TV or anything. But at the end of the day, the pop that Randy Orton would have gotten if it was a complete and total surprise, WWE blew it. They dropped a ball on that one. If you had that's why I thought when they announced it Monday, I thought he was going to at least be on SmackDown the night before, at the night before the event on SmackDown in some capacity. But no, of course, WWE, you let us know on Monday, and then we got to wait all week still to even see the guy. I mean, then just surprise us on Saturday night. Like, that's how you're supposed to do it for your crowd, for your, like you said, when Edge came out at the Royal Rumble a couple years ago, back out at the Royal Rumble, it was a total surprise. Nobody expected it. Nobody saw it coming, and the pop was absolutely amazing. When Bray Wyatt returned at the event that he had came back to, and one that was in Philly was about a couple years ago now too, I guess, or a year or so ago now, whatever. That was a total surprise. That's how you got to do it with a guy like Randy Orton. He's been out for so long. If you didn't have any intention of bringing him back on WWE TV before the event anyway, then let him be a surprise at the event. Give the audience that much at least. That's all I got to say about that, man. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
You're right. I want to just say one more thing. You're right. You know how we always see a pay-per-view with a mystery partner? Like, at least that, like, oh, the mystery, who's going to be the mystery partner? Even if you know it's Randy Orton, at least, because I know that I would always look at the silhouette and see, like, is it Randy Orton's silhouette? Whose silhouette is it? Who could it possibly be the mystery partner, right? You didn't even do it. You were like, yep, Cody Rhodes goes, yep, the crowd's chanting it. You're building it up. There's rumor. Now, there is a rumor that CM Punk could possibly be coming out. Now, that would be a cool pop. I don't think it will happen. But if you wanted to really make your show pop, that's what you need to do. And I think WWE is in a tough spot because they merged with UFC, and there's so much content out. We're in the content age, right? This is the reason why the NFL is sucking these days, because you used to have 2 games a week. It used to be Monday, we used to be on Sunday, right? So every game had to be good because you got the full healthy of guys every week, right? Now you got Thursday night games that are blowouts because they want to put every game on every week. Then a Friday night and a Saturday night, and it really fucks with the body mechanics. Same thing with the WWE. When you oversaturate a product, this is what you do. You got guys who should have storylines that don't get storylines. You got like Austin Theory. What's he doing? Getting pushed down the card. You got Rey Mysterio still has a title. I mean, that guy's like older than dirt. I mean, does he really?
He doesn't have a title.
Huh?
He lost to Logan Paul, remember? He lost his belt to Logan Paul at Saudi Arabia.
See, that's what I mean. I forgot, because you know what? Logan Paul's not around either. Like, you got champions that don't show up, right? You got ones that don't fight in main events. You got superstars like Cody Rhodes, who you brought back for a pop, who you've done nothing with. Absolutely nothing. I got Roman Reigns still waiting on the bloodline thing. It still has a pulse. I thought that thing should have died weeks ago. We still haven't given a pulse. Like, what are we doing? I'm done.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. But anyway, Survivor Series is tonight, folks. 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. War Games, 2 War Games matches, 2 big War Games matches. You got Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Shotzi taking on Damage Control, the new and improved Damage Control of Bayley, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky. And then on the men's side, you have the Judgment Day facing Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Randy Orton, apparently. And we know it's going to be some shenanigans and things like that of that sort. Judgment J with Drew McIntyre because he is not part of Judgment Day. He's just on their team tonight. Yeah. And you know there's going to be some crazy shit going on because I just can't imagine Randy Orton's coming back to be all buddy with these guys. Randy Orton's coming back to get in the mix. He's probably going to want to get in the mix with maybe Seth Rollins or something like that to that effect. Obviously, he has an axe to grind with Jey Uso. How's that going to work out all on the same team? These are the things that you're supposed to have good builds and have good story and build the story up properly. Because clearly, when that announcement got made Monday night, I don't know if anybody noticed. If you saw Raw, the look on Jey Uso's face told to said it all. He is not comfortable with Randy Orton being the other partner on their team, clearly, and there's obvious reasons why. Because he is a big part of the reason why Randy Orton has been out for all this time. So we will we'll see how all that works out. But let's talk about some Thursday football. You know, Thanksgiving Day games, to me, they all kind of suck in the sense of being just blowouts. Don't let that Detroit Lions Green Bay game final score fool you. That was an absolute bullshit garbage time touchdown. Detroit Lions scored at the end of that game. They got absolutely decimated and dominated that entire game by the Green Bay Packers. And the final score looks a lot closer than what that game actually was. Any thoughts on that first game Thursday afternoon, fellas?
Well, I thought Green Bay played a good game, and I thought they might turn a corner, but I think I could be wrong. So we'll see. I mean, I was impressed with how they came out. I think a win against a Detroit Lion team like that means something. I mean, it may not mean that they beat Kansas City, but it may mean that they can beat other teams and keep their feeble playoff hopes alive. They're going to be playing the rest of the year, I do believe. I don't think they're going to lie down. I think that's a win that can galvanize a team. And their young quarterback is developing before our eyes. I thought he had a very impressive throwing game. The way he was throwing the ball around guys as opposed to over the top, some of his arm angles, you saw the talent of why they picked him in the first round. I thought he started to have a game where you're like, maybe I can build something here. Maybe we can try to, stack this performance up. He has had a couple back-to-back good performances, a comeback victory, and now this type of victory. So these are good things that you want to check on your box as you go through the season. And remember, he technically is a rookie in terms of playing time. He doesn't have that much time on the field. So to see this maturation process is pretty good. As for Detroit, listen, man, their defense is going to be their Achilles heel. That will be their Achilles heel. If they do not get to the passer, they are going to be exposed by a team like 49ers, team like the Eagles, who can throw the ball all over the yard. You saw it against Seattle, the second game of the year. It translated again to the New Orleans, the Chargers game where they gave up 38 points as well. And then this game you saw on the back end, they have some troubles and some struggles. So the Lions are going to have to figure it out. They have 10 days to do it. I still think they're a strong team. I think if they can put it together, are a bona fide Super Bowl team. There's times where they play that good. With this 10-day bye, let's see if they can figure it out.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of this game, but I didn't watch much of this game. Those are great points you made. What I will do is talk about the teams. I think Adam made a good point about both teams. I want to add on it. I want to say you can't really take too much of it because of the fact that it is division opponents, and sometimes you just gotta let the records go. You know what I'm saying? What I do want to touch on is Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? It's his first year actually starting, and he's looking down pretty good. Obviously, he's struggling, in some games, but he's winning games that can bring confidence to him, and he's gonna improve and he's gonna get better. I do want to touch on Detroit Lions and more what Adam said. If this team is gonna beat these teams like the 49ers, teams like the Eagles and the Cowboys, they need to play 60 minutes. They can't play 30 minutes. They can't play 59 minutes. They have to play 100% on every single play, because if you're not 100% on every single play, and you misstep, you're gonna have these receivers catching the ball right over your head and stuff like that. And it is talking about the defense. Now, when you get to the offensive side of the ball, Jared Goff with that O-line and the weapons that they do have on offense with both running backs, it's like a dual threat with running back. Both can catch out of the backfield, and Montgomery as a goal line back. But it all comes down to, if St. Brown can go out there and be the dominant receiver that he can be in the playoffs. If St. Brown and Jared Goff continue to have the chemistry that they've been having, and the defense figures out a way to get there and disrupt the passer when it comes to, what I'm getting out of, I'm thinking while I'm talking, but like what they're really going to struggle with is mobile quarterbacks. And if they can figure out a way to stop Jalen Hurts and stuff like that, they have a shot at the Super Bowl. Will it be fun seeing in the Super Bowl? Absolutely. But right now they're playoff bound. Hopefully they can keep on winning, and we'll see who they get seeded against. Go right ahead, man.
The one thing I want to say before, real quick, is the Lions played winning football. Let's take a look at the numbers. Total yards, 464. Passing yards, 324. Rushing yards, 140. Yards per play, 5.9. Packers had 377 total yards, 268 passing, 109 rushing, 7.0 per play. The first downs for the Lions favored them. They were 25 to the third down efficiency. They were above it. They were about 50%. Fourth down efficiency, 1 of 5. They had 78 total plays. They allowed 3 sacks, Packers 0. They punted twice. They had 7 penalties, just like the Packers. Fumbles lost, 3. So the difference in the game is those 3 fumbles. That's what the difference.
Also, the difference is the game is them underestimating the Packers and thinking they're just going to come in and smack the Packers, and the Packers smack them, and they have to play catch up. They can't do that. They have to play good for 60 minutes. Go ahead, though.
Right. What I was saying was they still played winning football sans those 3 plays. When you win the time of possession and things like that, you're supposed that equates to wins, right? That's what happens. But then when you get 3 turnovers and they get 0. That's why you lose. That's why you're on the losing end of the game, right? So
momentum killers, and yes,
right. And when you have a team like the Packers who are playing close to their best football, that's the difference in winning and losing. So I just wanted to show you that even though the team didn't, it's not like they got the doors blown off them in terms of yardage wise, but the 3 turnovers killed them, especially in the critical errors. Not saying you're wrong, Mac, in what you're saying. I'm just saying, if you were to look at the paper. Winning the Lions should have checked every box on the winning column, and they didn't.
Well, yeah, but like you said, those turnovers, man, that's the things that can't happen, and they did happen. So those are the things you can't have that. They can't have that happen, and that's going to always kill you, especially when a team like Green Bay was able to actually capitalize on pretty much, I think, if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of those.
Every one of the turnovers.
I think so. It's just you can't have that happen. And another thing with Detroit Lions is you cannot get too cute. I get it. You have a couple of dynamic receivers and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. I mean, these are dynamic guys, and I get it. And you want to get the ball to those guys and get the ball in their hands. But you also got a couple of really good running backs that were running the ball very effectively. Very effectively, man. Sometimes you just gotta play that grinded out, dirty football, man, and stick with that shit. Especially when your quarterback is putting the ball on the ground the way he is in that particular game, the way he was, man. Take the ball out of his hands a little bit more and put the ball in Jahmyr Gibbs' hands. Put the ball in David Montgomery's hands. These guys were both averaging over 4 yards a pop. Damn near, Jahmyr Gibbs was at damn near 5. Both of them at damn near 5 yards a carry. That's production. That's production that you don't leave on the table, man. You just keep doing that shit because Green Bay clearly didn't truly have an answer for what those guys were doing to him, and yet you're still. I mean, you're dropping Jared Goff back, and clearly your offensive line was having probably one of their worst days of the season because they have a really strong offensive line normally. It was looking really bad all game long on Thursday afternoon, and Jared Goff was got back there getting killed. He was back there getting killed, and you just keep dropping them back. You just keep dropping them back. Like, no. I know the game got away from you a little bit early. I get it. But at the end of the day, you're a dynamic offense. Do things that work. And then coaching-wise from them, I mean, Dan Campbell, I'm all for guts, man. I love it. I'm all for the moxie. But sometimes there's guts and there's just plain outright stupidity. And that fake punt was stupidity. It was absolute stupidity. Because that was a situation in which you had every opportunity to truly get back in the game for real. Just put the ball away, man, and go out there and play good defense and get the ball back for your offense. You go for that fake punch on like your own 22-yard line. What do you think's going to happen? That's basically a turnover. That basically is almost the equivalent of a turnover as well. You gave them the ball. You gave Green Bay the ball right back already in plus territory. Like, that's not acceptable, man. That's irresponsible, as a matter of fact. And you let your team down. As a coach, you let your team down making a decision that poor. You got to go out there and you got to, everything has to come together. Detroit is a good football team. I truly believe they are. And there's still no doubt in my mind they're going to win that NFC North and represent them in
Oh,
the
yeah.
playoffs, in the postseason this year. But at the end of the day, you just got to clean up some of the just dumb, boneheaded mental mistakes. And then let's go to Green Bay, because Jordan Love, I'm not a big Jordan Love guy. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I still don't. I mean, but on Thursday afternoon, I have to give credit where credit is due. This young man went out there and, to me, in my opinion, played the best game I've ever seen him play. Complete game that I've ever seen him play. I mean, he was throwing the ball over the yard. He was using his legs, and he was picking up key first downs with his legs. I mean, young man really had a great performance, spreading the ball around to his receivers. I mean, he played very smart, clean football, and I must admit that he went out there and impressed me on Thursday in a way that he hasn't ever before. And not that he hasn't had any other good games this season or anything by that, but this was a phenomenal performance by a young quarterback on Thursday afternoon. So I do have to give him his props for that, even though I'm not the biggest supporter, and even in one game, it's still not going to make me a complete believer. But at the end of the day, the young man went out there and asserted himself very well against a good football team. And the weird thing about the Detroit Lions defense is, early in the year, it was a strength of this team. It was definitely a strength of this team earlier in the season, and it's just gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. And it's back to looking like their defense the last couple of years, where that's going to just be an Achilles heel, and their offense is going to have to go out there and score 30-plus points every week. So, other than that, I mean, this game, like I said, the final score was not as close as this game actually was. This game was more of a blowout in favor of Green Bay. It's just that Detroit did get that garbage time touchdown late in the game to make the score look a little closer. But Green Bay dominated this game from the start to finish. Man, it was an absolute dominating performance by the Green Bay Packers. And a little bit of redemption. I mean, Detroit ended Green Bay season a year ago when they knocked them off late in the year and ended their playoff hopes. So, this is somewhat redemption in a sense. Come out here to Detroit on Thanksgiving and get some get back. I mean, like I said, they look really good and beating up on Detroit. But Detroit's got to get back to what works and get back to being fundamentally sound, man. And those mistakes and errors, they can't have. This is not the time of the year to be piling on those kind of mistakes and errors. This is the time we need to be getting ready for the postseason action that's coming up. And making these kind of mistakes is going to get you nowhere fast in the postseason. You will have an early exit if you go out there and continue to play the way they did Thursday afternoon.
That's
Anything else
facts.
from this game, fellas? If not, we can move to the next game, the next blowout on the day, which would have been the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Washington Commanders. This was an absolute laugher, pretty much all the way through. I mean, Sam Howell, where he performed a little better, I suppose, than he did against the Giants, still wasn't great. No touchdown passes on the day for him. Did have 300 yards, but this is also another game in which things just got away from Washington fast, and I don't know, they just didn't really know what to do. I mean, the Cowboys, Dak Prescott went out there and played out of his mind. Once again, an amazing performance by Dak Prescott. 22 of 32, 331 yards, 4 touchdown passes on the day. Dak Prescott is starting to maybe creep himself up into the MVP conversation, to be honest. I mean, whether anybody likes it or not, that's just a reality. That's a fact. Tony Pollard came out and probably had one of his best days of the season. Matter of fact, I would say it probably was his best game of the year overall. And just the Cowboys are rolling right now, and they got like I said, a lot of layup games coming up here where they got a chance to truly make up some ground on the Philadelphia Eagles, but they need the Eagles to lose a game here or there somewhere to really truly catch up. But the Cowboys are putting themselves in a good position right now. How you guys feel about this one?
I think the Cowboys are playing a phenomenal level right now. I think they're hitting on all cylinders. Yes, I understand the opponents, but they're doing exactly what you want to teams that are far less talented than they are, right? The Panthers. Not a close game. Remember, Mac, you said that they had that one fluky game. Well, they already had it. They're not going to lose again to a team like that. They're not. They're just that good, okay? they had that game against Arizona. They probably wish they had it back right now so they could be in this race with Philadelphia. But I think they take care of business against Seattle on Thursday night, and I think they have a 10-day layoff going into that bye week, into that game against Philadelphia. It's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be a great game to watch. I think they played a fantastic game. The Cowboys. I hate to say that, but Dak Prescott. Can we get off? Can we get off this now? He's a top 10 quarterback. I don't want to hear about, I don't want people telling me about DJ and all this shit. No, that's the performance you get from a guy that you pay millions of dollars to. That's the Cowboy, what they expect to get him. And everyone told me, oh, well, he was
not
bad.
Even just Daniel Jones. He's definitely better than Daniel Jones. But I mean, people were ranking Trevor Lawrence ahead of Dak Prescott with regularity on their list all season. I'm sorry, just no. Dak Prescott is above Trevor Lawrence as well. Guys of that, some of those guys like that. So,
when he cooks, he cooks. It's good, And I just want to come back and say one thing: is that all the people who told me he was washed up from last year because of his injuries, right? You're not looking at the whole picture. He's come back with a vengeance and is taking the league by storm right now. All right, he's playing his best ball of his career. As a matter of fact, he's playing the best I've seen him play in maybe the 8 years that he's played. And I thought this would be the impact that Mike McCarthy would have on him. They've broken the seal of touchdowns. They're in the red zone now. They're starting to figure things out. Good to do it against teams like the Giants, like the Commanders, like the Panthers. Right? They have one more game against this team, the Seattle, which will be probably a tough game, but I think they're still gonna win that game. But man, they are hitting on all cylinders, and they have a Super Bowl caliber defense. Man, they have 5 like Deron Bland. You got to give your hats off to that guy. When Trayvon Diggs went down, everyone was saying the season was over. They don't got nobody. He's come in. He's stepped in right now and has 5 touchdowns, an NFL record. NFL record. So it's good. I enjoyed it. Watching the game on Thursday. Sam Howell, I'll say this. He seems like he's sad, Every time he does something, he just seems and looks sad. I don't know what is wrong with him. I don't know if it's because not that I want to be fired, but it's like every time he gets off the field and does something wrong, it's like, man, does he not like Eric Bieniemy? I don't know what you want. But I don't know. It just seems interesting.
Look, I was going to say, this is a case of, once again, like I was kind of just saying about Detroit, take the pressure off of, in this case, young quarterback in Sam Howell. Why is he dropping back 40-plus times every damn game when you have a running back the caliber of Brian Robinson Jr. in your backfield? This kid is a legitimate workhorse-style running back. He will wear a defense down if you just keep continuing to feed him the damn rock. I don't know why these teams want to get so damn cute in this era of NFL offenses. I get it. It's the way NFL offenses are run for the most part in this era now. I want to get back to a little bit of old school. With this. You got a guy the caliber of Brian Robinson Jr. that can run the ball very efficiently if he gets the opportunities. And you're dropping your young quarterback back 40-plus times a game. Make that make sense. Because it doesn't make sense to me. Especially against a defense like the Dallas Cowboys that are going to pin their ears back and get after his ass. Like, come on. You got to be smarter, man. You guys are NFL coaches for a reason. You know better than I should know. But yet, it's pretty clear and obvious, man. It's simple.
Well, analytics.
Just take the pressure off of the young guy.
Well, Eric Bieniemy comes from that air raid system from Andy Reid. So he's not going to. He's like, and I would say to a certain extent, George Walsh. Excuse me, Steve. You know what I'm saying? The guy Walsh, 49ers. I'm forgetting Bill Walsh. There we go. The West Coast style of offense, where the West Coast basically the 5-yard pass sets up the run. However, that doesn't work if the guy drops a pass, right? The clock doesn't move, nothing stops. There's no dynamicness. You can do a lot in a play-action offense with a good ball fake and things like that. The problem is that Eric Bieniemy is stubborn in his ways. If you can see it, and sometimes I was thinking the same thing you were thinking, Mac. I'm like, how come, Dan Campbell wants to go for it on 4th down and this, why don't you punt it away? Like, how come I can see that on my couch, but you can't as $1 million, coach? I mean, I don't understand.
Exactly.
I don't understand all of it. And so to me, like I was saying, Sam Howell, he's going to have his ups and downs. This is his first year starting. I expected some up and down. The fact that you're still leading the NFL in passing, the fact you have 18 touchdowns. I mean, Giants are, blowing a guy for 15. This guy's got 18 and still got 6 games to go. And I was talking to a friend of mine. I said, there's a possibility that he goes over 4,000 yards this season and hits 26 touchdowns, which would be pretty phenomenal, even though he's had some up and down performances. But other than that, Washington looks a disarray. They fired their defensive coordinator for a reason. So it is what it is.
So good afternoon, Earl, man. Thanks for stopping in. You got
What
a
up,
question? Looks like he says, is it time for the Jets and Giants to remove head coaches? I think the Giants are probably not going there right now. The Jets might really want to consider it and think about it. I think Miz hit on some good points on his phone call, the WFAN the other night, last night or whatever, when it was last night, I think. He hit on some good points, like you said, about Robert Saleh. Sometimes guys are just not cut out to be head coaches in this league, and Robert Saleh is starting to increasingly look like a guy that's not probably cut out to be a head coach and stick to what he does best, and is calling defenses, man. But we'll see what the Jets do, and I'm pretty sure. I think up here, all of us being New York Giants fans are pretty confident that the New York Giants will not move on from Brian Daboll, at least not this year. So we'll see how that all plays out. Thanks for the question, Earl. You got any thoughts, Adam? I mean, Zion on the game, Cowboys Washington?
Yeah. What's up, man? Thank you for joining us as well. Yeah, I think honestly, guys, it's my honest opinion. I think Cowboys are farts, bro. Like they're gonna get exposed. Like I'm just doing some research and I'm looking at this and like first off, I don't agree. I don't think Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback in this NFL. Like some people can think it. He had a good season in 2021, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. This year, it's looking like he's on the path to do the same thing. But, when I'm really looking at these games, like I look at the schedule, I mean, like every single one of their 8 wins is against teams that is not even at a 500 record. Like, really think about that. They're beating teams that they're really supposed to beat. The Giants, the Jets, the Patriots, the Chargers, the Rams, the Giants, and the Panthers. And yes, they're destroying them. But what happens when they meet the 49ers? They're the ones that get destroyed.
They played well against the Eagles.
They can't close. I'm not talking. I'm just being realistic here. Look at the schedule. The Seahawks, the Eagles, the Buffalo, the Dolphins, the Lions. Talk to me about the Cowboys in week 18, and maybe we'll have a different conversation. If they can go through that gauntlet, I got a humbling. I got humbled real fast when SC had to go through their gauntlet, and I get it, it's college and NCAA different. But when NC had to go through their gauntlet, SC, they didn't survive it. I'm not trying to be a hater. Cowboys have played absolutely nobodies, destroying them like they should be. Matched up against the Eagles, matched up against the 49ers, lose. Now they get matched up against the Seahawks that's going to play them tough. Eagles, Buffalo, Dolphins, Lions. If they can come out of their gauntlet with at least 3 victories, they got me respect. And I think their defense is really strong, so the best in the league. But can they go through that tough series? That has always been a player in-season team. They're not going to impress me. Dak Prescott has the 2 number 1 receivers, a stud running back, a stud offensive line. You're supposed to do this. I want to see you survive the gauntlet and win in the playoffs and actually make it to the Super Bowl. Then I'll give you my respect. Make it to the Super Bowl, Dak, and then you got my respect. Because guess what? You had 8 years with a top 5 offensive line, and you haven't made it there yet. So make it to the Super Bowl. Beat teams like 49ers in the playoffs. Beat teams like the Eagles in the playoffs. Do me a favor and survive this gauntlet.
I'm going to rebut this. And the reason why I'm going to rebut is this, right? We always look at guys on a team. Oh, he's got this guy. He's got that. That's not. He performs with those guys. He performs with those guys. He makes those guys good. We see a guy like Garrett Wilson can't catch a break and doesn't make his team better regardless of who's playing quarterback. So they need somebody to throw him the ball to make him look this good. So I don't want to cheapen it.
I'm not cheapening it, but this is my opinion on Dak. I don't want to put him in a conversation that I don't think he deserves to be, because I honestly truly feel that Dak Prescott
playing
is
better
maybe
than
a top 12 quarterback. But for me personally, if you take Dak Prescott and you put him maybe behind a line that's not as strong, I want to see him really do that. And I know that's unfair. That's really unfair. We can't judge teams like
but
that.
that's
We can't.
nitpicking. That's
You
nitpicking
know?
in my eyes. You're like, well, if you do this, you do that. Like, you got to perform, right? He has a good line. He performs at a top level talent. I can't blame him for playing the fucking Panthers on the schedule, because guess what? If the Giants were playing those teams and throwing Hail Marys and darts all over the place, and if Daniel Jones threw for half the yardage that this guy was throwing for, we'd be anointing this guy fucking top crown quarterback in the league. So the fact that this guy goes out and play these teams, right, and beats them, we have to now raise the bar to make the argument look like, well, he's not a top 10 quarterback because this. This is what a top 10 quarterback does.
We're not raising the bar, Adam. That's just my opinion on it. My opinion is this guy has never let's look at his NFL stats. And I know stats can lie. But when you talk about raising the bar, I'm talking about winning playoff games. I'm talking about winning Super Bowls. I'm talking about throwing over 40. Okay. This guy's highest touchdowns is 37 touchdowns. This guy had a top 5 offensive line. I don't want to drag this on. This is my opinion. Agree to disagree. But this guy had a top 5 offensive line.
Josh Allen hasn't been to a Super Bowl. He's top 10.
But who?
Josh Allen.
Go look at Josh Allen's stats. I guarantee you it's better than fucking Dak Prescott stats.
A damn thing.
But when you think about it,
Jackson hasn't won a damn thing. I'm just saying, you want to go down the list and say win a Super Bowl because you want to give a guy respect. All I'm saying to you is the guy.
His stats are average on a great team. That's what I'm saying.
He's
That's
not
just
playing average.
enough said. Agree.
Now, look, with all due respect, I disagree a little. I disagree with you, Zion. His stats are not average. His stats are they're through the roof. They're through the roof. I mean, and honestly, there are not 10 quarterbacks right now playing better football than Dak Prescott in the NFL right now. There's just not. You cannot legitimately name 10 guys that are playing better football.
3,000.
They're playing better. They're playing better than Dak Prescott. Now, let me finish up my thought.
Well,
now, because now one thing where I do agree with you. Here's one thing.
Come on, guys.
One thing I agree with you, because I agree with you on something. Something you said I agree with, and that's that it's time to take the next step. It is.
Thank you.
That has to happen.
Prove something
it's
to
time
me.
to take the next step. But I'm not gonna. But I still can't act like what he's doing is still not worthy of being. He's a top 10 quarterback, regardless of what the rest of the team is. It's still football. Is still a team game. They're not failing exclusively because of Dak Prescott's deficiencies. They're failing as a team when they go against these.
We talk about Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan has multiple 1,000-yard seasons and stuff. We talk bad about Matt Ryan. We look at Matthew Stafford. They both had receivers their whole career. Dak Prescott, let's put them all three in the category. Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott had receivers their whole career, right? Look at Matt Ryan's and Matthew Stafford's stats. Multiple 4,000-yard seasons. Multiple. I'm talking over 4. Dak Prescott averages 2,800 yards a season. Go look it up. Average. 23, 25, 20 touchdowns a season with over double-digit interceptions on average, okay? So I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to put this guy in a conversation with Josh Allen when he doesn't deserve to be there, okay? Because Josh Allen was coming into a building team, okay? Dak Prescott was set into a built team for Tony Romo. He inherited a built team. Guess what? I respect Dallas because they always have a built team. It's up to you, Dak, to really get someplace with it. Please. For I don't have to complain no more about you because I'm tired of complaining. I want to see you really get somewhere with it, man. A built team, eight straight years. 8.
Well, look, we can argue this till the cows come home. We're just going to disagree a little bit on this. There's not 10 quarterbacks playing better football than Dak Prescott right now. It's just not. There's just not. I mean, I just don't. I don't know exactly what you're looking at. Honestly, there's just not 10 quarterbacks. You can't tell me right now that you can name 10 quarterbacks currently right now playing better football than Dak Prescott. It's just not. It's not. That's not. You can't. You're not. You might be able to get up to maybe 7 at best.
Have that conversation because all these
you might be able to get up to 7 at best.
have played better football than Dak Prescott.
Look. Dak Prescott, I know the numbers. I saw the numbers. You know how hard it is? His first 3 years, he was playing a run-based offense. Okay? That's why his first 3 years look like that. If you look at the year that Mike McCarthy took over, he threw for like 4,900 yards. The next year, he broke his leg. The next year after that, he got almost 4,000 yards. This year, he's on pace to get great numbers. He already surpassed his touchdown total of last year where he had a bad season. Everyone told me he was being bad. This guy is playing a top 10 quarterback. To then just say, well, you know what, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, I'm not going to give it to him. It's just blasphemy.
I'm not saying that, Adam. I'm just saying all of these wins is against under 500 opponents. Talk to me after this 5-game gauntlet. Talk to me after he throws interceptions. He's probably going to throw 7 interceptions in the next 5 games.
No, that's
the
part.
Talk to me.
That's the part. That's the part I agree with you. That's the part I agree with. Like I said, it's time for this team to take the next step.
Okay.
As a team,
2016. Okay, but his playoff game against Green Bay Packers. Did he lose that game? Did he lose that game against Green Bay Packers? No, he lost because Aaron Rodgers had an amazing drive down the field. So a lot of the games, the one game that he lost was the 49er game last year, and the playoff game one where he the ball he didn't touch. That's it. I get that, but other than that, I can't blame him for everything that goes on. You got to put
Russell Wilson above Dak Prescott, and motherfuckers gonna call me crazy. 19 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Well, where's Russell Wilson's praise? Where's Russell Wilson's praise? Ain't nobody talking about Russell Wilson on a shitty Denver offense.
We are talking about him. He's having a great year.
Right?
He's having a bounce back year, isn't he? Give me a break.
There's so much. There's quarterbacks out there.
You know what it is?
Zion.
Dak Prescott gets all the hype.
All right, Zion.
Yes.
Take this, no mess, no nest, no jets. Put up here. When we go through a list, give us your list. I'm curious. Give us your top 10 quarterbacks.
Top 10 quarterbacks. Let me go through my list.
Don't use
just because Aaron Rodgers is injured doesn't mean he automatically gets off the list. That doesn't work in my mind.
I didn't say that.
So it goes.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm talking about in general. You don't just get incident. Are you talking about this year? I can remove him if he's not playing.
You're going to compare him to a guy who's not even playing?
Yeah.
Bullshit. That's
Aaron Rodgers. Wait, are you talking about this? I can give you 10. If you want me to remove Aaron Rodgers, you want to talk about this?
Let's move on. Time to move on.
Okay, I got.
I want to hear your list. I want to hear the list. Let me hear your top 10
I'll go through my standings. Right now, I'll just go through my standings. I'll just go. Dolphins, I'll take Tua over Prescott. That's 1. Buffalo, I'll take Josh Allen over Prescott. That's 2. Ravens, I'll take Lamar Jackson over Prescott. That's 3. Browns, no. Joe Burrow, I'll take Joe Burrow. So that's Bengals. So that's 4 already. Just 2 divisions. Okay. We'll come back to Trevor Lawrence. We'll come back to CJ because they're young. Patrick Mahomes, I'll take him. That's 5. Russell Wilson, I'll take him. That's 6. Justin Herbert, I'll take him. That's 7. That's all into the AFC. Maybe I'll come back to Trevor. Maybe I'll come back to CJ. But that's 7. Let's go to 8 will be Hurts. 9 will be Cousins. And I'll probably give my 10th is.
Come on, man.
Who do I want to give my 10th to?
Come on, man.
Who do I want to give my 10th to? There's so much choices out there.
Come on, especially with everything you just said about Dak Prescott and about the not getting over the hump in the playoffs and this and that.
What are you talking about?
Kirk Cousins?
I'm debating because I have 3 quarterbacks in my mind to fill that 10th spot. I'm not debating because I'm stuck.
3 quarterbacks?
Okay, the 3 quarterbacks are going to be, where I just put my standings? Do I put CJ Stroud because he's having a good season? Do I put, damn, I just lost my standings. I picked on the Vikings. Do I put CJ Stroud? Do I put on Derek Carr on a good offense? But no, I don't think I put him. Geno Smith, I don't put him.
Move on.
I go to maybe
you're reaching, bro.
Trevor Lawrence. I'll fucking put Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I'll put Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence came back in a deficit that 5 touchdowns or something like that, or something ridiculous that Dak Prescott would never do against the Chargers. So I'm gonna put on default Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence is on a building team and he came into a building team where he didn't come into a built team and Dak would have probably voted against the Chargers. So I'm gonna put Trevor Lawrence.
All right, let's go to Black Friday. Let's go to Black Friday and talk about let's talk about not Black Friday. We still have one more game Thursday night. 49ers Seahawks game from Monday night. Let's go there. I mean Thursday night, the primetime game on Thursday night. Let's go there, man.
Top
Let's
10
talk
Big
Geno
about
Smith
it.
had a
conversation.
horrible game against the 49ers.
Let's talk about. I love you,
That's
Zion. Let's talk about that, bro. But
give me a list.
Another
for fucking
game, another
happy hour.
I didn't
massacre.
watch it.
Break.
This game was another massacre. I got really uninvested in this game by halftime and didn't watch any more of it after that.
Me neither. I went to my holiday movies.
But honestly, another just stellar performance by this 49er defense. Absolutely just destroyed. The defense was really the big key in this game, destroying the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, Brock Purdy had a solid performance. You know, other guy Christian McCaffrey had an amazing first half to this football game. Debo Samuel clicking. I mean, just 49ers just asserting their will, proving that they are the better football team between these two. I don't know what you guys have any thoughts on this one, but
Seattle's
feel
frauds.
free to share them.
They're fraudulent.
You're muted, I think, Zion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I really have nothing to say on this. I really didn't watch the game. I thought it was gonna be a closer game, being that it was a division opponent. But yeah, 49ers just proving that they're a superior team and one to be messed with.
Well, all right, fellas, we can move on. I don't really feel like we spent so much time with that whole Dak Prescott conversation. Let's just move on.
We wasted time.
Friday for another boring ass game. Another boring ass game on Friday, on Black Friday. NFL for the first time giving us a game on Black Friday, and this is the game they gave us: 34-13 beatdown for the Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets. Man, yeah, another one that I also got very uninvested in very early. Didn't take me very long to not want to watch the rest of this game either. Tua doing what Tua does. You know, going out there, you know, he's starting to make a lot more mistakes. I'm starting those week in and week out. And that's also not a good thing with this team headed to postseason play. Most likely headed to postseason play anyway. But Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are still once again looking like just the deadliest combination of wide receivers that this league has ever seen. Maybe. I mean, both of these guys over 100 yards on the day. Just big time
I
performance.
mean, if you want to say anything, Miami hasn't beaten anybody good on their schedule, and they have Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith.
That's absolutely
Yeah,
facts.
I mean,
That's
just saying.
Okay. I agree with you 100% because we're gonna, as much as I want Miami to make the playoffs and make the Super Bowl, I want them to. It's gonna be really fun. We have to really see, because Adam brought up a good point. Who has Miami? And I'm not a hypocrite. I want to see these teams that haven't played against good teams go look at Jacksonville's schedule. They're surviving it. Go look who Jacksonville is playing. They're surviving it. They're becoming a tough team, okay? So when you look at teams like Miami, when you look at teams like the Cowboys, you need to look who has these guys really played, and are they going to really show up when it really matters? I'm sorry to take over the mic. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I don't. I was waiting to hear y'all thoughts. If y'all had any thoughts on this game, I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. Michigan looks like they're about to get this W, man. Looks like, just for a quick update, Michigan is looking like they're about to get the W in this rivalry, big time rivalry matchup against Ohio State. This is a big time win for Michigan heading into postseason play, man.
Yeah, I just look at teams like I wasn't gonna use this point, but Adam brought up a good point, because when you look at teams like Miami that has the most dynamic offense in the league, that puts up damn near over 70 on Denver, and then gets a lollipop schedule. Okay, they play the Commanders, they play the Titans, they play the Jets. Those are the next two teams they play. Will the Jets maybe come back for revenge? Probably not. Okay, so they're gonna go 9, 10, 11. They're gonna go 11-3, and then they get Cowboys, Ravens, and Buffalo. So as a Miami fan, those are the three games I'm focusing on, because you literally, if you want to make a championship, you got to literally win against really good teams. And yeah, you can lose a game here or there. That's fine. It's going to upset the seeding. But your gauntlet, your Super Bowl really starts on Christmas Eve, because it's to survive teams like the Cowboys and the Ravens and the Buffalo, and then to go and march into the playoffs and then beat the AFC that's going to have teams like the Chiefs and the Bengals, if the not Bengals are probably not gonna make it, sorry, but you're gonna because Joe Burrow's injuries. But that being said, like I was watching their this has kind of been a team I've been following the whole season. I kind of let you guys know that too early on. I was watching their YouTube channel as much as I was watching the Giants channels, and I do like a video and why I feel that Miami might be an upset in this whole thing. I don't know if a lot of people have Miami picking them as a Super Bowl favorite or anything like that. It's probably the Chiefs majority of it, but it's just because Mike McDaniel's, man, his mindset, and he wakes up at 3 o'clock every single day and he drives into the arena and he really has this team bought into the energy that they're giving off. And guess what, guys? I don't know if he came back yet. I haven't been in and out of football the last 2 weeks traveling and stuff, but guess what? Ramsey's on the verge, or he should be healthy by playoffs. I don't know if he's gonna be a big factor. He's not gonna store it. I don't think he's gonna be big. It's the whole season that came by, but he is someone that can come in and help too. So what really excites me, and I want to take my time doing this, is I want to see the Dolphins in the playoffs, and if they can survive the playoffs, to really see what kind of team this team is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one thing about the playoffs is you're not going to go far if you can't beat good teams, and this Miami Dolphins team has not proven that they can beat good teams yet on this season. So that's just what I had to. That's all I really got to say about them as far as that's concerned. I think also the loss of Jalen Phillips is going to end up being a huge one. He blew his Achilles on yesterday afternoon in this game. That's going to end up coming back to bite them as well. Just coming down the stretch, he is not a guy you can just insert somebody else in and replace the production of Jalen Phillips on that Miami Dolphin defense. So we'll see how this all plays out. But Jalen Ramsey he's been back for the last couple of weeks and he's looking like his old self. He's looking like his old self. He's like he hasn't lost a beat. So that could be something to help give him a spark going down the stretch. But who knows, man? This Miami Dolphins team does have to prove that they can go out there and beat some of the better competition as they get ready for this postseason. Because like at the end of the day, you're not playing anybody bad in the playoffs. Everybody in the playoffs you're playing is teams that are in the playoffs for a reason. So you're gonna have to go out there and show us something against better competition legitimately. And we'll see. We'll see what goes on with this Miami Dolphins team. But you guys have any more thoughts on this final before we move on to our final segment?
What's up, Zero? I think we do. We'll find out in the playoffs. That comment. We got a lot of contenders this season. We'll find out. You know what I'm saying? And there's teams that might just make a run, and don't stop them once they get on that one. So that's why it's fun. And this season has been strange. This whole NFL season has been strange, but we'll see what happens.
I agree with you, Scrub Zero. A lot of pretenders this season. That's why I can't wait for January and the postseason to get underway, so we can see who are the real, true contenders. Because I think there are quite a few pretenders out there, and we'll just find out, man. We'll see what happens, man. Thanks for coming in, joining the stream too. Appreciate you, my brother. But Adam, man, you know what time it is, man. The floor is yours, my brother.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We are now getting into our Week 11 recap picks, and then we will make our Week 12 picks going this season. So let me present my screen. Let me see if they will allow me to do that. Share screen here. Technology these days. I'm not very good at it. But as you can see, Week 11, I do believe Zion is the winner. Mac and I took a few L's at the end of the game list here, and Zion made those L's back at the end of those lists here. So Zion, you can pat yourself on the back. You may not know quarterbacks, but you know how to pick games. That's for sure. So let's get started.
Freshman of the season. Thank you.
Let's get started.
It is.
Cowboys, Panthers. Mac, we all picked the Cowboys. Going down down here. Boom. The next one was Steelers, Browns. I picked the dog pound.
You gotta share the screen, Mac.
Huh?
Oh shit.
Oh no, I'm telling Mac to share the screen. No, we're good. Continue, Adam.
Oh, sorry. Zion picked the Steelers, close game, and the Browns. Obviously, Mac picked the Browns. Sorry. Next game, Detroit Lions versus the Bears. Closer than we think. Lions pulled it out in the end. Lions again for Zion. Zion got the Lions as well. Unanimous sweep. Chargers, Packers. Here's a game where it blew up our brackets, so to speak. I picked the Chargers. Of course, they would let me down. Zion picked the Chargers. Of course, they would let us down. And Mac picked the Chargers. Way to go, Chargers. Way to go. Hope they fire their coach. That guy deserves to be fired. Okay, Cardinals, Texans. We all went Texans here. I'm pretty sure nobody went on that limb and tried to do that. Nope. Yep. Right there. Good. Texans. Jaguars. This is a game. They won. They dominated a lesser opponent. Let's see. They dominated. I think, Mac, this is where you kind of bracket got busted here with Tennessee. I guess you were hoping that they gave it to Derrick Henry. Well, they did not. Raiders, Dolphins, a lot closer than most people anticipated. Dolphins. Everyone picked the Dolphins. Except for you, Zion, you picked the Raiders. You were smoking that Antonio Pierce pipe. But they did keep them close. Did keep it close. And I picked the Dolphins as well. Dolphins needed that game, man. They look a little wary. Giants, Commanders, I can't believe it. We all picked the Commanders. Giants won. We don't need to get into it any further. Tommy DeVito, Tommy Chicken Parm is winning football games for the Giants, so good for him. Buccaneers, 49ers. Here we go. Buccaneers, 49ers. We all picked the 49ers, I do believe. Please tell me I picked the 49ers. I did. I would have picked the Bucks. Good. On to the next one. Bills, Jets. I was the only idiot that picked the Jets. You two guys picked the Bills. Man, was I stupid. Thanks, Zach Wilson, for nothing. Seahawks, Rams. We all picked
play,
the Seahawks.
did he? Oh, he did. He did play.
He did play. He got benched that game. He got benched. He got benched. He got benched
yesterday.
for
He
Todd
didn't play
Bowles.
yesterday at all. That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, he was, and it doesn't really matter because they're both shitty. So the Bills, we all picked the Seahawks, except for Zion. Zion went on. This is where he makes up his run here. 49ers, Bills, Rams. The last couple games, I picked the Jets and Seahawks. Terrible me. Way to go, Seahawks. Way to go, Geno Smith, you not top 10 quarterback, you. Vikings, Broncos. This is where the bracket gets busted again. I was on that Vikings Josh Dobbs bandwagon. But Zion, again, coming through with the Broncos, and then Vikings for Mac. So we stuck. And then, of course, Kansas City can't do a damn favor for anybody, even though they have Patrick Mahomes. His whole team let him down. Guys can't catch a cold. KC, Zion went against the grain, picked the Eagles, and then I also picked KC. So we don't even need to count our totals, Mac, because we know who the clear winner is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins for Zion.
A lot of green in this section.
Zion takes the win. No tiebreakers needed today, folks. No tiebreakers needed today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The only tiebreakers between me and Mac because we basically have the same team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So yes, Mac and I both have 7. Zion is the winner. Round of applause for yourself, Zion. For you win nothing, but hey, the gratitude of that you are a better picker of the football than we are in week 11. Now, for week 12, here we go. Come on, computer. I don't want to be sharing all that stuff. Let's just close this volume. Here we go. Are we ready? Are we ready? Since Zion won, I will start with Zion. First, Zion, 1 p.m., Falcons, Saints. I think I know who you're picking just because you said a guy was top 10. So we can start with you.
I'm actually going to go with the Falcons. I like the Falcons.
Well, thank God I didn't write down Saints because that's where I thought you were going. Mac, who do you got?
I got the Saints here, man. Falcons stink.
Falcons stink. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Are you sure that they stink?
I'm sure. I'm sure the Falcons stink. Yeah.
New Orleans. Oops. I'll take that. I'll take the Houdat Nation. The Houdat Nation and the Saints here. I think their defense is underrated, and I think they're going to give fits to Tyler Heineke, Ritter, whoever the fuck plays. That cornerback situation sucks. Bengals, Steelers. One team's on life support. Obviously, I'm going to go with the Steelers here because the Bengals don't have Joe Burrow, and without Joe Burrow and some other guy who I don't even know and probably half the league don't know, I'm going with the Steelers. Mac?
Right there with you. Pittsburgh all the way here. Cincinnati's not the same team without Burrow in the lineup.
Zion?
Yeah, I love the Steelers in this matchup.
He loves the Steelers, ladies and gentlemen. If I were you, I'd start taking notes. If you're on DraftKings, 9 wins. This guy's got a 9-win team. Hold on one second. Thought a sneeze was coming. You know how that goes. Didn't want to sneeze on air or into the microphone. Okay, Jaguars Texans battle for the South. Here we go. Marquee game. Why is this game not flexed? Why are we not flexing this game? We finally get two teams we don't really get to see in Jaguars and Texans. And what game do we get at 8:00? At 8:30 at night? What do I get at 8:30? I get the Bears and the Vikings. I'll leave Rams, Chargers. What are you doing here? What are we doing here? NFL, you got it wrong. It should be Jaguars.
You get the Bengals Chargers. The Baltimore Chargers. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I get what they did. They, Burrow, Herbert,
Jackson. Yourself, man.
Anywho, I'm off topic here. I'm telling you, NFL, go F yourself on this damn thing. We want to see this team. Mac, who do you want to see first? Who do you want to see win? Jags, Texans, go.
I'm taking Houston here, man. CJ Stroud. I'm just. It's hard for me to bet against this kid. Hard for me to bet against him.
Zion?
I'm gonna go at the Jacksonville here. I just believe that they're gonna revenge their loss. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be rainy, and I just believe that Houston has beaten these good opponents on I believe a 3-win streak, but now they're gonna get matched up against an opponent that can actually play the same level of football as them. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars here.
Wow. Well, I'm kind of feeling the CJ Stroud love here. And since Zion almost said that he was an MVP candidate and better than Dak Prescott, and these are the games you need to win in order to be better than a Dak Prescott, I'm going to go out on that limb, and I'm going to take the CJ Strouds. I mean, the Houston Texans, and I'm riding that ship with Mac. So Texans it is.
Easy dub. Thank you, guys.
Buccaneers. Colts, yeah. You'll be kissing our feet when he's all over the place destroying Trevor Lawrence. Buccaneers, Colts, another game of nobody cares about. This game. See, NFL, you got it right with this game. Nobody gives a crap about these two teams. Okay, Buccaneers, Colts. Zion, I'll let you go first.
I don't care. Give me the Colts at home.
You don't care. Neither does the NFL. That's why they're on at 1:00. Mac.
The Bucks have been just falling apart lately.
So that mean you're going to pick the Colts? There's a long pause here.
So I said the Colts.
Oh,
I said I'm taking the Colts. I said the Bucks.
I thought you were saying the Bucks have been playing and falling apart, and then I thought there was going to be a but.
I thought he was going to give a speech too. Honestly, I thought he was about to say something too.
And that's why I thought. I'm waiting for the but. Are you picking the Bucks? No. I'm going to go on a limb and say the Bucks win because Colts are putrid, but that's all right. We'll move on right quick. Patriots, Giants. Who do you guys got? I'll start with you, Zion.
I don't see a 2-8 Patriots team coming into MetLife, no matter how trash we are and beating us. So I'm going to take the Giants. I'm sorry. We still have Barkley that's healthy. Give me the Giants.
Mac?
Yeah, see, Patriots coming off a bye week. Once upon a time used to be a scary thing, but not with this Patriot team. I just look, call me crazy. I think Tommy DeVito has enough moxie to get the Giants to a win against the New England Patriots. So I'm going with the Giants here.
I'm going to go with the Patriots. Call it just wanted to tank, I guess, or the fact that Bill Belichick hasn't lost to an undrafted rookie quarterback in the history of his game or a low-level quarterback. It could be that. I don't know.
That's a good point you brought up there. That's a major point.
2 weeks to prepare for a Tommy Chicken Parms. I'm going to have to give him a little pat. I could be wrong. I probably am, and it's probably going to cost me in the picks, but that's just my feeling. Anyways, moving right along. 2 Panthers, Titans. Battle of the suckiness. Battle of the bottom of the South. Panthers, Titans. Mac, who do you got? Or who do you at least want to see win?
This could literally be the worst game on paper this week. I don't even know which way to go here at this point. I'm going Tennessee just because Carolina's that bad. So I'm going Tennessee. I just don't know what else to say.
Titans again, back-to-back weeks. Titans. Zion?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again, guys. I'm gonna do it. I think he's just gonna wake up and then he's just gonna be like, I'm gonna have a good day today. So, and that is the quarterback of the Panthers. So give me the Panthers. Now, if the defense holds up, probably not, but I'm still gonna ride with the Panthers. They're gonna figure it out and get the dub against the Titans.
Well, I would love to pick the Panthers, and I want to pick the Panthers, but you pick the Panthers, and I don't know if I want to trust you. And
Trust me, career day for Bryce Young.
you're gonna, I don't know, man. I don't know. You might be trying to bait and switch me to win this picks this week. Like, I'll get him to pick the Panthers, and it'll blow up his whole bracket. No, I'm just kidding. I want to see the Panthers win, but I'm going to go with Titans. Oops. What are we going here? Come on. Damn, my fat mozzarella fingers. That's what I get for calling Tommy chicken parms, right? Anyways, next game is Rams, Cardinals. I'm going to go with the Rams. Zion?
I got the Cardinals at home, honestly, man.
Oh, my God. But, hey, he won this week, folks. He won this week, so he might be on to something. Mac?
No, not with Matthew Stafford back in that lineup. Got the Rams all day in this one.
Rams.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray is more comfortable now. Can adjust, brother.
That doesn't mean they win.
He's going to be running all over the Rams.
Oh, yeah. Puka Nuka is going to be scoring touchdowns, dancing on their face. Broncos, Browns. This game should have been flexed into the 8:30 spot as well. That's going to be a game you want to do it. Two big-time defenses coming at it. Playing, at least I shouldn't say big time defenses. The Broncos defense is playing better. The Browns defense is championship caliber. They brought in Joe Flacco. I don't know if they're going to sign Joe Flacco. They like DTR right now. To me, I'd bring in a guy because if you get to the playoffs and you want a miracle run, that defense can carry you there. Do you really want a rookie running the ship? But who knows? Could be the 49ers on the AFC side. Anywho, Browns, Broncos. Mac, who do you got?
This is an interesting one, man. The Broncos are on an absolute roll, and you know what? I think they keep it going, man, against this young quarterback that the Browns is going to be rolling out there. I mean, the Browns defense is absolutely legit, like my Scrub Zero saying in the chat, but I still think I like the Broncos here. Russell Wilson is definitely coming back, rounding back to form, looking like his old self. Got this Broncos team looking like a legit team, a team that's a threat to potentially sneak into the postseason. Who knows? We'll see.
Zion?
Yeah, you guys know I've been high on the Broncos for a while now, and exactly to the point what Mac just read. And yes, the Browns have a great defense, but the Broncos have one of the best cornerbacks right now this year alone playing, and their defense is Sean Payton got that team playing. I mean, yes, they only won by one, but they was playing tough to win that game against the Vikings. And I'm gonna go out on a limb, super bold prediction, extremely bold. It would not surprise me. And they play the Lions and they play the Chargers twice, and they play the Texans. It wouldn't surprise me if the Broncos goes on a winning streak here, and they're already on a winning streak and finish the season in a double-digit bracket and wins. Sean Payton just got that team moving right now. And let me repeat that. That's Green Bay, Chiefs, Buffalo, Vikings, and about to be Browns. If the Browns win, that would ultimately surprise me. But give me the Broncos here. I think they overcome that defense.
I think I'm just going to go with the Broncos just because they have the better quarterback play. Russell Wilson is playing a good football this year, having a good season, a bounce-back season. Some would say. Some people thought he was washed, similar to another quarterback we spoke about early on, but he's having a good year. So I'm going to go with the Broncos, and that's my upset pick of the week. I just think DTR, while I love him, I think the Broncos are going to be able to confuse them and get some turnovers in their territory. But with that being said, we're moving right along to the Chiefs and Raiders. Whew, Chiefs Raiders used to be a big time matchup back in the 80s, but now, not so much these days. I'm going to go pick KC. I think they bounce back after a heartbreaker against Philadelphia. I think they take it to the Raiders. Zion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them losing two straight. The only reason why they would lose two straight is because it was a division opponent, but I don't think the Raiders have a team to compete against the Chiefs, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Even though they stopped the Miami, I just believe that the Chiefs is going to win the game.
Mac?
I mean, look, the Raiders have been playing much better in football since Antonio Pierce has taken over. But, Yeah, I'm with Zion. The Chiefs ain't going down 3 straight, man. Patrick Mahomes ain't going. He's not going to allow that. He's not going to let that happen. Give me
3
Chiefs all
straight.
day here, man.
It's unanimous picks here. Bills, Eagles. Ooh, what a game! What a game! What a game, Mac. I want to start with you first. I know how you love them birds.
No, I do not. But I love them here against the Buffalo Bills. I just think that Buffalo's been too up and down this season. And I can't have faith in them going down to Philly and taking care of the Eagles. I just can't. So I got to go with the Eagles here.
The birds. I knew you were a closet bird fan. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Zion.
I'm gonna do it. I think this is the right team, a team that doesn't know who they are, that's trying to figure out their identity in the season, but still playing great defense. Josh Allen's gonna have a big day. They're gonna go upset the Eagles at home. The Eagles will be 9-2 after this game. Give me Buffalo.
The Bills, back-to-back week. He picks
The
Buffalo.
6-5 team
First
will get the
time
victory.
in a long time, me and Zion are on the same boat. It's been a while. Welcome aboard, friend. We're going to the
Yes.
Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I think that firing for some reason inspires them to win the game. I think they go down there, they find their identity, they cause trouble to Jalen Hurst, and they eke out a victory against the Philadelphia Eagles and get their season right on track and get back into that playoff mix. Sorry. Anywho, moving right along. And we have, I think, 2 more games to go. Ravens, Chargers, 8:30 at SoFi Stadium. Beautiful stadium, great setting. Bad team to be watching there. Sorry, Chargers, love you so much. Justin Herbert, you're having a good season. Even though your team was playing bad, you, my friend, are still playing well. And that's why I'm going to tune in to watch this game. But with that being said, who do you have, Mac, and why?
The Ravens, because I am not putting any faith in the Los Angeles Chargers ever again. That's it. I'm done with that team. I am done ever saying they're winning any more football games. They piss me off week in and week out. They have great quarterback play, and they have nothing else other than great quarterback play and great receiver play in Keenan Allen, and then you can forget about every damn thing else on that football team. The defense is absolutely horrendous. It's terrible. They give up like 30 points a damn game, no matter who they're playing against. It's got to be the Ravens.
Well, Zion, I don't know how you're going to follow that act, but
I love that. I absolutely love what he just said, but I honestly feel that the offense is just too talented. I know the defense, Ravens have a great defense and a great offense, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the Ravens, but this is the week on prime time at home where the Chargers finally show up. The defense finally starts to help the offense, and they sneak a victory against the 8-3 Ravens. So I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go that Keenan Allen has a big game. That the running back has a big game. Totally slipped my mind. Eckler. I believe that Justin Herbert will have a big game, and the defense of the San Diego Chargers will have. Los Angeles Chargers will have a big game. So I'm going to go out on a limb on an island by
That's
myself.
where you're wrong. Everything else you said was possibly true. Herbert's going to have a big game. Keenan Allen's probably going to have a big game. Eckler will probably have a nice game, and then the defense will give up like 40 points.
Well, you stole my thunder, Matt, because that's where I was going to go. I was going to say the same things, but I'm picking the Ravens in this game because I can't trust the Chargers defense to stop a nosebleed. The coach is already melting down on the feet on the podium with his snapping at reporters and his little friggin' butt chin. Like, dude, get out of here, bro. Get out of here. You look like you're 14 on the sidelines. You're ruining this guy's career.
The defense finally show up, maybe.
This is the nail in the coffin for this guy as he gets railroaded again by the Ravens on a last-minute drive down the field by Lamar Jackson, who snatches the jaws of victory from him.
Bro.
But anyways, that's who I'm picking, and that's who I'm picking, the Ravens. And last game on the docket, it's a short week this week in terms of games because, they had 4 games over this weekend that we normally didn't have, but we did. And that would be Bears, Vikings. I pretty think I'm going to go with what I went with last week, the Vikings again. I think Joshua Dobbs does enough to win this game, and I think Justin Fields plays well, but I think the Bears don't have I don't know. I don't think they hold up. Tom?
I'm gonna take the Vikings at home because I like the stadium.
Well, that's always a good thing to do. You like their festivities? Why don't you pick them?
Absolutely, why not?
Oh, hey, listen, I like going to Virginia Beach because the Holiday Inn there is so great. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. But hey, you like what you like. Mac?
I like the Bears here. I think Justin Fields is going to go out there have a tremendous game. I think that the Bears defense is just getting steadily better and better and better each and every week. And I think they go out there and they wreak havoc on Joshua Dobbs and that Minnesota offense with Justin Jefferson coming out and saying he will not step back on the field until he is 100%. So, I don't know. Just things that, things that make you go, And I just like the Bears here, man.
I think he's holding out for that contract, people. That's what's really happening here. But that concludes Week 12 pick segments. I hope you all enjoyed this. I enjoy doing it for you, and hopefully it's a lot of fun and we don't make it boring.
Absolutely, man. Guys, everybody, thank you all for joining us on this special Saturday edition of the Premium Takes Podcast. Hope you all had a very happy Thanksgiving, and hope you guys have a very happy holiday season. We will be back at our regular scheduled time and date next week on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another edition of the Premium Takes Podcast. I am Mac the Giants fan. That's my guy, Adam Costas. That's my guy, Zion Zenith. And y'all know the one and only NYG, Jeffy T, always right here with us in spirit, baby. Throw them fours up for my guy, NYG, Jeffy T. This has been another edition of the Premium Takes Podcast. Pass!